Hey friends, happy Wednesday. Welcome into another edition of Coffee with Karl and Rob. I'm Rob Hipp, Director of Operations here at SHN Sports. Well, it is called Coffee with Karl and Rob, and that means we're going to bring on none other than Mr. Karl Schoening. Karl, what's going on, man? Good to see you as always. Here we are on a Wednesday.
I was waiting for the pun, Mr. Coffee Schoening. Yes, thank you. Because at first I thought I heard coffee, but you said my name. So I was like, but Coffee Karl. Yes, I'll take it.
That's right, man. It's always a good morning and always good to get a little caffeine to get you juiced up and ready to go. You know, kind of Wednesday, they say hump day, but I don't know, man. Whenever you're in this industry, in the media, it's like every day almost feels like a work day, even when you're off. I don't think you really have a day off. You just love what you do, right, Karl?
I think it's an ongoing joke with my family that they never see me on the weekends because I'm preparing for a game. You know, that's the funny thing about working in sports, especially because your work hours are different than other people's work hours by design. We want people to hit sporting events. So then all of a sudden, you know, we're just out at every sporting event, not enjoying it like everybody else because we're working. So, you know, it's sort of a funny thing where just sort of the day like this, it's times where you have different hours than everybody else.
Well, the big news is, of course, baseball season winding down for many broadcasters, especially at the high school level, particularly, of course, playoffs, though, on the horizon. So today we kind of wanted to talk about, for those of you that do live stream, and we'll dig a little bit into folks that you may not have access to some gear during the summer, but really the focal point today in Coffee with Karl and Rob is, hey, you know what? Sports are over. Now what? So we want to get you prepared for the summer. And so we've got some ideas on live streaming that are just kind of get those creative juices flowing for you as the summer months roll around. But before we talk about that, Karl, you and I were talking off camera a little bit earlier just about, well, what if folks don't have equipment or they don't live stream? So I think it's good to have a little side hustle maybe to get you through the summer before we really start digging into live streaming ideas.
Yeah, and a lot of people that I know that are in sports broadcasting need another job. Like it's not just one thing that they do and they can make money off of it. You need to be able to, you know, just hopefully enjoy whatever your second hustle is. And I think when it comes down to what I did was I became a yoga instructor and I decided to work at gyms and you know, again, not the highest paying fields, but it's also, you know, something that I think was very flexible with my time because gyms are open early in the morning until late at night. So I was able to work with Gold's Gym and work early in the morning. And then I would go, I was in Westlake in Austin, and then I would drive to San Antonio for the Spurs games. And my flexibility allowed me to do that. But yeah, like working in media, I think I worked 6 days a week. But you know, that was in the infancy of SHN. And now, you know, as much as I actually kind of do want to get back into the fitness world, we sort of got so busy that I don't think I can really commit to that. I tried to be a yoga instructor at a private school where they just had me doing one-on-ones, but you know, the timing of it was all just a lot rougher. So, you know, the good news is as you get busier, you sort of have your dates filled. But now that it's the summer, I kind of might look around to try and host a couple classes, you know, figure that out. But, you know, my motto, Rob, is it's better to be busy than looking to get busy.
That's right, man. Just be busy. And, you know, some of you may, I kind of want to relate this maybe to me as well for those of you out there this today, you know, this morning on a Wednesday is, you know, maybe you got a family like me. You know, I've had to change priorities and shift focus, and I have all these ideas and things that I want to do, but family time is extremely important. I mean, that was the number one reason that I left a major Division I opportunity after a year up in Fargo, North Dakota. Love the people, love what I was able to do. But, you know, at the end of the day, you also have to find that balance as well. And I said, Karl, for years, if I ever got to a point to where, you know, things conflicted with my family, I would have to reevaluate. And so things change, and it's okay. And it's always a good idea to never burn bridges. And thankfully, you know, I didn't up there. I left on a very positive note, but things change. And that's one reason we came back to East Texas. And so, yeah, kind of like you, I'm having to find ways to stay busy, to make things work. And doing a little morning show here in Huntsville has worked out really well, and launching another platform. But my passion, obviously, is still broadcasting and live streaming. And so today, talking about sports are over. Now what? Luckily, I've got a little bit of baseball left. High school's still going, but it's going to be over soon. So now what? And I wanted to get your juices flowing this morning for everybody out there that's watching, and Carl and I will talk back and forth. Some live streaming ideas. How about local festivals and events? Man, the summer is jam-packed with events in local communities. And when you focus on local, you can usually get people to support it, to sponsor it. One thing that we did many years ago, the Georgetown Rodeo in Georgetown, Texas, that was some of the most fun that I ever had outside of sports broadcasting. Literally had a guy in the chutes with a camera on the bulls. Never thought I would be live streaming a rodeo. It was pretty fun, Carl.
It's a shame that was the end of the rodeo. I think you did the last 2 years, maybe. I think
Yeah, it
the
was.
first year we didn't know it was the last, and then the next year it was the last, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the end of it. But no, that was a lot of fun. And I will say that sports do never stop, right? Like we will still have opportunities within sports. So if that's your niche and you don't want to learn something else, find some like summer select programs or tournaments that are being hosted near you, and see if you can get paid to go out there and live stream those maybe AAU tournaments. But when we're talking about just what's in your area outside of that, yeah, there's so many opportunities to get out and meet people and do things. But I think that there's some things that we should say that might be worth noting, I guess. If you're using live streaming equipment for sports broadcasting, that doesn't quite translate to other areas of live streaming and production work. So, I would say make sure that you're well researched and all of those other things if you're going to continue using your production equipment outside of sports broadcasting. I consider rodeo sports broadcasting though, Rob, because that was, that's definitely a sport and athleticism. But I think something like weddings, right? Like you could possibly, we talk about getting out in the community doing public events, but maybe more private events that people want documented, such as weddings or rehearsals or, quinceañeras, those kinds of things are, I think sort of people want somebody in production there to document the event. So unfortunately, our sensors on our cameras are mostly designed to be able to work in very well lit conditions that can go from a very wide angle to a very tight angle. That's sort of, the, I would say anything from micro four thirds to 1 inch sensors to half-inch sensors to the industry standards 2/3 of an inch. Those are all supposed to be used in well lit areas. So if you were to just start to look into other production realms, like you can in a way, but you can't necessarily use your videography equipment for photo equipment. So, there's a lot that goes into it. So if you have any questions about like what you need, ask us, because that'll just give us more content to kind of give you on this podcast. We need to get on those comments and questions. We need to maybe do like a Twitter mailbag, Rob. But that's where I think this conversation doesn't really stop, because there's always something going on near you, and it gives you new opportunities to meet new people and do new things. But I would just say, no matter what you do decide to do, because we'll give you some more ideas probably throughout this, make sure you're well prepared for it, because doing something that isn't typical of sports broadcasting, usually sports broadcasting will have you set up. You see my wireless transmitters there, right? There are things we can do because we've invested in sports broadcasting gear such as wireless transmitters that a lot of production companies that are like, oh yeah, we know how to live stream, can't do necessarily because they're not using the same sort of gear. But then it crosses over to where I think you need to just make sure you are well thought out anytime you're doing something new. Where's your internet connection going to come from? Because if you go to a festival, you're going to have questionable internet. So maybe if
Mm-hmm.
you're doing it for the festival, go out there and find the best internet connection you can for your stage, because that's probably most important. And then maybe you're doing a music festival, like make sure you know how to connect to their audio boards. There's a lot that goes into doing new things. So I just kind of, as much as we like to give out ideas, I'm going to say find something and make sure that you're well studied in it. That's probably the most important thing of how are you going to execute the live stream, because it is drastically different from sports broadcasting. That's sort of my end philosophy on this, Rob.
Yeah, for sure. And just to interject, I mean, there are some things. So look, if you don't want to go out and advertise I'm doing weddings, but perfect example, I did use my equipment. Of course, I didn't have a scoreboard on there, but Bridget's brother had a wedding and he wanted me to live stream it because it was during COVID. And so I was able to use our Teradek wireless that I had and two of the cameras, and it turned out pretty good. Now, would it have been a good enough quality to go out and start marketing that I do weddings? No, but I did it for my brother-in-law basically, and it worked out well. So there are some things, just like Karl said, do your research. Don't go all out and start saying you're this, major production company putting on weddings whenever you just have basic stuff to do it. But yeah, you can go out and have fun and do it. And made a little bit of money doing it also. So it was exciting. Some other ideas out there, charity events. You never know. There may be a fundraiser going on in your community where somebody needs help, and you can go out with your equipment. And again, there's certain things that you got to navigate through, but do your homework. But you can do charity events and fundraisers. I've been involved in several of those. Outdoor competitions. Good friend of mine has a shooting range, and they have shooting competitions. You're going to need a different camera to really keep up with some stuff if you want it to be really sharp and professional. Again, what I'm getting at today is don't go out and start marketing that you're this major production company, but there are small events that you can do that will still suffice and people would be happy. Fitness and wellness. Karl, that's right up your alley. You can go out and live stream fitness and wellness. You talked about yoga earlier.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Rob, because that's probably the most in-demand non-live sports, but maybe live interactive class is fitness. And I think that you could probably find several people that maybe you could even partner with during the summer. Like, hey, I have this, you have that. Like, you have a good following, I have the equipment to go live. Again, you can't be a fitness person wearing studio headphones or headsets like that. So it might be worth investing in a wireless audio transmitter like the Rode Wireless Go 2s. We use those for our post game interviews, but you can set up a lav mic and then just connect the receiver to the camera, and this way your talent is mic'd up. I think that that's actually probably the best thing you could do, because there are plenty of fitness studios almost no matter where you are. I know some smaller towns it's probably limited, but just to expand their reach. And I think it's worth looking into a little bit more, Rob. We were talking about this off air. YouTube memberships, so you could just start creating content and building up a content library with another business. And that doesn't necessarily even have to be wellness and fitness. I think you could easily do something with wellness and fitness where it's like, hey, we have our meal prep day, we have our Wednesday free class, we have our Friday and Monday paid classes. And I think it's really simple, Rob, to try and generate ideas with other companies. And once again, as long as the lighting is good and you kind of think about a couple things like, you're not relying on the camera's microphone to get the talent mic'd up, then I think, there's a lot of things that you just got to consider when you're, doing anything new, as I've been saying. But yeah, just go out and find somebody that'll help you out, because I can guarantee you that there's a yoga instructor in a big city near you that would say, yeah, I have 10,000 followers, I have no idea how to live stream, let's do it.
Yeah.
Like go 50-50 with it on them.
You can help them out. I mean, a lot of different opportunities. You keep bringing up, certain things and equipment, and you're so right, because I go back to that wedding, not to circle back to that, but in the wedding, there was different things I had to do because I had to make sure that I was able to capture the priest that was doing the wedding. And, he was not going to wear a headset like this and, hey, welcome in. We needed to make sure that it was compatible with their equipment. Other ideas that you can have is educational content. Here we are on SHN through the SHN Sports Association membership, and putting that out there and providing extra educational content to people. That's exactly what we're doing right now. So we're able to continue our passions, Karl, of live streaming and talking to others. And we're not even really talking about sports today. Here we are talking about other ideas. So again, educational content. My aunt, perfect example. She is a porcelain artist, and I've been trying to get her for years to start live streaming some of her painting classes. There's educational opportunities out there that you can help. So identify those needs. You can be the guy. Remember one time, Karl, we were talking and we were saying there's not a demand for that. You can create the demand for something. So if you know of somebody who teaches a class that maybe they want to reach out to somebody else, why don't you offer a service, say like, hey, let me live stream this for you, and it'll reach a larger audience.
And that's really where I think people need to understand that social media and these general places where they call it portal. What's the word? Membership, I guess. You have a login for this social media app. That's where your audience and your clients and your potential customers are, because if you do your marketing the old fashioned way, yeah, it's cool to have a billboard. It's nice to have a magazine commercial, but internet is where it's at, because all you need to do is say, for example, you got a great thing going on that's not sports in Good Morning Huntsville, right? So
Hmm.
you could very easily say, hey, if you're interested in supporting my client with their whatever the business might be, the link is in the description, and then they're already there. They just click on the link in the description and they're where they want to be. The advertisement was so, hey, I tell you about this and you check it out, that you really can't compete with it. So that's what the beauty of social media is, and all the reach of this. So I talk a lot and I talk fast, so don't quote me verbatim right there, but figure out a way to put that in your own words if you're approaching somebody, where you say, hey, I noticed that you're so, be nice about it. Don't say your social media game's weak or something like that. Like it's like, hey, I like some of the things that you've done on your social media. Wink, wink. Can I help you out with it? Like I think it's one of those things where the value of a content creator is increasingly going up, because what was once sort of mocked as, oh, that's just the social media intern, is actually going to be the director of marketing. That is what people see and need in their content feed. So, I always say, Rob, you brought it up earlier. Charities are the best way to do free work if you're not sure. Like I always say, it's sort of tough to charge somebody for something that you're not 100% sure how to do. So I would say, if you want to figure out how to work with a system of sound, on a stage or something like that, go to a local play and say, hey, can I try and live stream this on your page for free, or a charity event or something like that, where there's a demand for it, but they might not have it within their budget. So there's the trade thereof. You get to sort of trial and error without guilt in a way, and you're doing a good cause, maybe because people wouldn't be able to see the play otherwise, or I'm sure they want to protect their ticket gate. But I'm just getting on here with we've done several things for free, Rob. In fact, you got something coming up, don't you? I think you mentioned it earlier,
Yeah,
the
tomorrow
National Day
morning.
of Prayer.
Yeah, tomorrow morning, live streaming the National Day of Prayer, that coming up. And so I'll be doing that here coming up tomorrow morning around 11 a.m. So that event,
Beautiful.
also, yeah, and also have a town hall with the local politician that is talking about why he's doing his platform. So after that evening, I'm going to go live stream that event. I'm doing it for free because it's ways that I give back to the community through my platform at Hello Huntsville, and all of that just generates exposure. And guess what? Along the way, Carl, I'm learning a few other things about live streaming outside of sports.
Is that going to be on? Where's that going to be? Your YouTube page?
Yeah, the Hello
Hello
Huntsville.
Huntsville, for the politicians. You got to charge the politicians or get some sponsors on that. Something like that. Like Hello Huntsville, presented by. Do y'all have a car dealership down there?
Yeah,
Like
we got 3 or 4 of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Get a big car dealership to present the town hall. Like, oh, hey, we're going to do all the politics. Like, it's okay. Make it, make it both sides so it's fair for everybody. But that even there, like, I don't get into politics. I'm pretty apolitical. You don't want to hear my rants on politics. But when it comes down to it, I guess they need their content created too. So here. I'm amazed that it took us 19 minutes to hit on politics, because politics are sort of in right now. Like it's something that everybody sort of, if you give them the content, they'll see. And some politicians are doing a great job making content. So, if I guess if it comes down to they align with your ideology, or if maybe you just don't really care, and as long as you get paid, charge them for content. There you go, Rob. We just gave everybody all those ideas. So I hope somebody like hits us up in comments of the. I know we haven't had the best viewership, so we need to hop on our own social media production here. But I hope this got somebody some kind of idea generation, because I think we just covered everything reasonable right there with your general community in this 20 minutes.
Yeah, so much that you can do as we wrap it up. Since we were on the politic train, hey, go out and live stream churches. Go out and live stream breweries if they're having an event. There's your politics, your religion, and your alcohol all in one segment right there, Karl.
Hey, whatever religion you practice, they're probably interested in expanding their congregation. And I know that was I would say that the live streaming industry has actually very much been advanced because of religion's need to live stream. Like, Rob, you and I started this company, SHN Sports, back in 2015. And we were telling Mike Capps when we were trying to get him involved as a partner that in 5 years, everybody's going to be doing this, right? So in that particular case, I didn't mean to be that prophetic, I guess, in the sense of, COVID happened, so everybody needs to live stream. But yes, 5 years later, everybody live streamed. And then everything that's kind of happened in the last 3 years since shows that live stream might be dying down just a little because it had to spike so much there when it was a need. But now it's an expectation. It's like, oh, hey, everybody knows that technology is available for the masses. So, find those people that are in those expectation areas of, like you say, religion. And if they happily pay for your services, great. I think that there are things like that where, if you want to do it for free, that's always your right, your choice kind of thing. But, we make investments in this equipment to, provide a service. So, wherever you might be, maybe try and make a little cash on the side, even if it means selling sponsors, So there you go. Rant over. Coffee almost done. I need to get a refill, Rob. So I know we were kind of talking about keeping this one short. I think we overshot our, let's keep
it's
it
all
short.
good.
We undershot our average time. So I'll let you ask if there's any final thoughts or anything that you want me to expand on. But otherwise, more coffee for me here.
Yeah,
soon.
sure, Karl. Well, appreciate everybody out there. Again, for more information as we dive deeper into topics, make sure to join the SHN Sports Association. Just go to members.shnsports.com, and for a very small monthly investment, we'll keep you updated. Also, let us know your questions and put the comments below. What do you like to live stream? What are some opportunities that you have? Know folks that do funeral services as well, bringing a very valuable service to celebrate the lives of those that have moved on. So a lot of opportunities, a lot of ideas. Let us know your ideas, and we'll keep that content coming here on SHN. Again, reminding you, join the SHN Sports Association for more in-depth content and training at members.shnsports.com. Till next week, we'll see you later. Have a great day, everyone.